People often tell me I should be tired. When they see me, they watch my body juggle intensive family caretaking, work for this temple in One Buddhism, work as the president of the board for a large local nonprofit, intermixed with all the other stuff of life. Sometimes I am tired, but sometimes I feel okay, and my response is, no, I'm fine. I chose these things. They are an expression of my practice. Then, a few weeks ago, I experienced something surprising when preparing dinner. It was the end of a long day and the beginning of a long work night. I was setting the table, and I started having an interior dialogue with myself. There was a refrain to this internal chat. Here's what I heard. I'm so tired. I am just really worn out. Yes, I am worn out. People are right. This is really hard work, all this caretaking, and I am working all the time. I am just exhausted. And then I looked down and noticed what I was doing. I was calmly walking in our temperature-controlled house, bringing a dinner plate to the table. The sight of this simple single plate in my hand startled me and stopped me in my tracks. Was I exhausted? Was carrying this plate really all that difficult? Was it heavy? No. I carry around heavy things all the time. This dinner plate was certainly not heavy. Was the distance from the kitchen to the dining room really long? No. Uphill? No. Was I feeling weak or shaky? No. So, who or what was tired? I placed the dish on the dining room table and returned to the kitchen to get silverware. As I brought the silverware to the table, I could hear my brain say, well, maybe you answered no to all those questions, but really, just look at yourself. You're worn out. I looked down at the objects in my hands and took a quick survey of my body. Nope. The place settings for 4 were not too heavy, and my body was not on the verge of collapse from malnutrition or illness. In fact, I had even slept a reasonable number of hours the night before. These observations began what became an experiment in my daily life. Whenever I heard my internal choir singing a chorus about how I must be feeling, I would stop to assess just how I was feeling. As I did this, I began to notice that my physical and emotional responses to everyday activities were often more neutral than I had expected. And there were straightforward solutions available to me if I decided I actually was tired or mentally fatigued. I also noticed my brain choir singing the "I am so tired" song less often. I guess there just wasn't much satisfaction when its audience, me, kept responding by asking, "Am I tired?" All of this has led me to wonder what else my brain sings to me and where those songs come from. Turns out they come from me, and with enough repetition, my brain becomes conditioned to their melody and their verses. Left unattended, when my toxic brain choir opens their mouths to sing, they invite these little thread-like tentacles to spin out. And these sticky threads are almost invisible at first, but they land on my mind and stealthily start rooting in, prickly, grasping, poking, and uncomfortable. Over time, As the singing increases, the threads grow into taut ropes that squeeze my breath and distort my vision. As I observed this process more closely, I could see just how much my sneaky brain choir was limiting my experiences of life and hampering my ability to see choices. Here are a few other songs my brain choir has sung to me over the years. I am a worker bee. I am not a leader. I am an introvert. I am tough. I can handle everything. I have the answer. I know what we are supposed to be doing. I mention these songs because my inspection of them has unveiled their essence. I can now see how they have constricted me and harmed those around me. Believing I was worn out and exhausted gave me permission to be less available to those around me, even when upon examination, I actually wasn't all that worn out. Believing I could never be a leader resulted in my failure to take a leadership role when my skills were needed in that way. Believing I was an introvert meant that I was focusing on my discomfort about finding what to say, rather than welcoming someone new or being sensitive to someone who might be in pain. Believing I was tough and could handle everything meant I was pushing away those who were trying to provide partnership. Believing I already knew the answer made me deaf to the voices of those around me. The choruses we compose and listen to are immensely powerful forces. And as they root themselves in our minds, their power ensnares us and becomes a wedge between our best enlightened selves and our true nature. Their refrain harms us and inclines us to harm. Their refrain also blinds us to the unbridled beauty around us. This was brought home to me in a special way during last year's Great Enlightenment Day, the day when Buddhists celebrate our founding teacher's enlightenment. At the time, I was staying at Yonsei University in Korea and was looking forward to celebrating this special day in the actual birthplace of our tradition. The day began just as you might imagine. We all woke up very early in the morning and quietly assembled in the dark. Slowly, we made our way through a tree-covered path, the soft sounds of our shoes intermingling with the sounds of the waking farm and forest animals nearby. Cold air, warm bodies, visible breath. As we approached the site of Sotaesan's enlightenment, a beautiful glowing light greeted us, emanating from hundreds and hundreds of lit lanterns. We slowly walked among these radiant orbs to a large metal Ilwansong symbol and sat beneath it, our bodies mirrored in its reflection. As we chanted, our voices broke through the cold morning air and reverberated through time and place. Afterwards, we visited the special sites of Sotaesan's life and work, praying and walking, praying and walking. It was all very, very beautiful. When it was over, we were told to meet again that afternoon at the same sacred site to continue our celebration. When I returned, I peacefully emerged from the tree-lined path, but instead of soft, luminous, serene lantern light greeting me, the loud laughter of local children and Yonsei students met my startled ears. Just to be very clear, Yonsei students study to become ordained Kyomanims, Won Buddhist priests, And yet, here they were on this sacred site with guitars and jokes and games and singing and ice cream, and we spent the afternoon laughing and egging each other on and just having a fun, goofy time. Did I mention that the president of the university was there? And teachers and meditation masters, everybody joining in? Or that local families were having picnics right next to the Il Song statue, or that kids were running around all over the place? Did I fail to say that the students and I played tug of war on the most holy site Buddhism has to offer? I thought I had gone to Yongsan with an open mind, but this was certainly not what I had expected. My internal choir of how one properly behaves at holy sites was singing its heart out, but no one there was paying any attention, and sometimes I forgot myself. This kind of happy abandon at holy places happened over and over again during my stay at Yongsan, sometimes even accompanied by local friendly dogs. What was I missing? Freedom of mind. Sometimes our minds are compared to a mirror, and our delusions and false perceptions like dust on the mirror. My mind is not only dusty, but it has become overgrown with the ungainly tangle I allowed my brain choir to sing into place. Like kudzu intermixed with barbed wire, I can see the I am so tired vine snaking around the I am so correct vine and all the other vines and refrains that have made themselves at home inside me. Fortunately, we have been given a tool to help us clean off our dust and loosen our tangles: meditation practice. Sages teach us that meditation practice leads to freedom of mind. It helps awaken us to our true nature, a nature free from discrimination and unhealthy attachment. The silence of meditation has helped me loosen my tangles and blow away my dust. I have invited the choir that created the mess to take a silent rest. Bit by bit, my mind has begun to relax and feel more spacious. And this reviewing and healing process helps me learn that freedom of mind also means freedom of heart. A couple of years ago, I remember Reverend Rongong saying that the most important quality for a Kyonin is laughter. At the time, I thought this was kind of a lighthearted thing to say. I didn't take it very seriously, though. But after experiencing what true unbridled joy was like in Yongsan, I began to realize that freedom of mind is a state of being that allows our clean, clear spaciousness to reside in our thinking and in our hearts. When we remove our poisonous songs and mental clutter, our inner and outer worlds thrive in spaciousness and delicious freedom. The principal book of Buddhism describes how we should use our senses and our mind. When used with impartiality and selflessness, they are perfect and complete. What does this look like in real life? Here's how the everyday life of our founding teacher, Sotae-san, has been described. In everything, the founding master always worked hard at what required hard work and enjoyed what was to be enjoyed. He never did anything that fell short of human affection. It sounds to me as though Sotae-san would have felt very happily at home singing and playing tug of war on the site of his enlightenment. So, I have an invitation for you. On last year's Enlightenment Day party in Yongsan, the last song the students sang was a perfect expression of their happiness and their freedom of mind and heart. I invite you to enjoy it with me now, here, in this sacred space.